Okay, hi, this is Think Louder, and this is another view of how we're going to review our Technic models. So, what you see on screen right now is the 42066 Model B, the private jet. What I've tried to do here is strip down the model to a point where we can actually see the way the motors work. Typically, if you've seen the Lego Technic models, beautiful working inside, for example, the Porsche GT3. But by the time the entire model is complete, all the panels come in and you can hardly see anything at all. So what we are trying to do as Think Louder again is, after the model is built, once we put it on display, we are also then going to strip it down to a point where we can show the actual working and how the mechanism actually functions. So here we go. So if I just operate the battery right now, but before I do that, the aspects of this specific model which work through the motor are is the landing gear and these two rotors. If I just switch it on, now you'll see here. This is the part where you will see this entire gear system working. Here you go. The way this actually functions is there's a small motor powering this. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a shaft here which comes from this motor. The shaft is connected to a couple of gears here, and these gears finally connect to this white gear, which becomes a transmission rod, and eventually the power is transferred from this main gear to these side gears. If you move here, this specific, I'll just stop the motor now. The one which you see on the left hand side, the one you see on the right hand side here, I'm sorry, is for the shaft is for the rotors, and the left hand side is actually for the landing gear. Now these two are the actual gear shifts, so I can shift them ahead and behind depending on which direction I want them to work. If I just switch it on right now and let me just engage the rotor gear in one direction, and you can see they're moving in this specific direction. If I move it in the other direction now, they basically just change from anti-clockwise to clockwise. I think one thing to notice is if you realize how this works through these two gears, through these 4 gears or 6 gears if I may, the fans are actually rotating in opposite directions now, and I'm not sure if that's the way planes function. So I'll get it back to neutral. Now I will just engage the landing gear, and you will see how the landing. This actually is a beautiful frame and design. And this is not only with this model, but the other Lego models as well. Once the actual action of the motor is complete, the entire gear system gets stuck. If I just put back in neutral, everything is fine. With the rotors now, if I actually want the rotors and the landing gear to be working at the same time, I need to be very careful that these gears have to continue moving in the opposite direction. So if I do this here, the entire thing is stuck. But now, sorry, it's going to move now because in the same direction. After the entire session is complete, the entire thing is going to stuck. You will see the rotors getting stuck as well. And I think that's not really, I don't know, that's not a good thing to see. Now, whereas if I now engage it in the opposite direction, again it's going to work. But after the action is complete, the rotors have stopped. I got this into neutral. I'm getting the fans engaged now. The moment I move to neutral again, this is working fine. There you go. And this is just about going to get stuck again. There you go. So, not a very intricate model, but in all, I think very, very nicely designed. I'll just stop the motor. Nicely designed. I like the way the front wheel is actually connected, and it requires a lot of precision, and these 3 joints, the joint here 1, the joint here 2, the joint here 3, the joint here 4, are from a design perspective extremely important to make sure this functions. If I have to show you once again, and if I just engage this, all these joints, they're all pivots, 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all the pivot points. There you go. Just engage it in neutral again. So I'm going to keep this as short as possible. Let me know if you like this kind of a review by Think Louder, and we're going to try doing this for all the other models which have the motoring capacity, and we will try to explain the functioning and the workings of the motors as much as possible through these short videos. Again, this is nothing, it's not motor at all, but again, thank you for watching, and do subscribe. Take care. Bye bye.